Hi, welcome to Southern Girl in the City. My name is Dominique Duarte, and I'm a singer actor currently living in Brooklyn, New York. And this is going to go along with my blog post, which is how to take charge of your life. This blog post will be a catalyst for my entire year. So, the first thing in taking charge of your life is making a plan. Make a plan and be specific. Make sure it's measurable. I think there's like an acronym, specific, measurable. It's called SMART, I think. Yeah. Um, I'm just gonna look it up really quickly. Um, Actionable, relevant, and time based. SMART. So you have specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time based. So that means that you set goals that are specific. You define measurable assets. You confirm your goals are attainable, verify your goals are relevant, and set up a time based plan. SMART. If you have no plan, it's really difficult to reach any goal. My goal is to book an equity job and perform in the equity job and get representation this year. The large goal would be to get into the union by the end of the year. But that's a little bit maybe not so timely. I think that's something that would take longer than a year. But I really would like to get representation this year. So today, I started a journey that every day I'm going to submit to talent agencies because I need an agent. I have been performing professionally since 2013, but I've never really gone 100% with it. So that would be the next thing. Put in 100% effort to take charge of your life. If you want to lose weight, put in 100%. Sometimes I think I've been putting in 40, 50, 60, and sometimes I'm spreading myself extremely thin because I'm working in customer service, I'm working in education, I'm working as a singer actor. Something's got to give. And I think for me, part of the reason education is so hard is because I'm always trying to do 5 million other things. But I don't know, because actually, when I taught at Achievement First, as well as Elm, I actually didn't do singing and acting, and I didn't do customer service. But I was in graduate school. So I've always been multitasking, and I think that multitasking is necessary to some extent because I do think you kind of need to have multiple streams of income, which I stressed in the last video. But also, if you're going to do that, you've got to make sure you conserve your energy so that you can give 100% because I think I could have given more of a percentage to my singing and acting career in the last 2 to 3 years. I could have just done catering, saved for the periods that were slow instead of getting an education job when I panicked. I panicked in January of 2023 and was like, oh, I'm going to just go back into teaching because, I don't have any money. And then I did it again in 2024. Not really. In 2024, I just wanted stability. I really did. And I was like, I'm going to pay off my debt. I'm going to stay focused and I'm going to have stability for once. However, that is not exactly what ended up happening. Because I went from having 3 jobs in 1 year as a teacher's assistant. And I really think that working with children is something that I do enjoy. I do enjoy it, but I don't think I can handle the politics behind it. And that has been my biggest Achilles heel. Um, I'm also a people pleaser, and a lot of the times I'm just not saying anything. I'm not saying that I have an issue. I'm not saying that I have a problem. And then I think out of the blue, they're probably like, what? Because I finally do speak up, and it's just kind of late. If I had just said something in the beginning, it wouldn't have been an issue. But anyway. Um, so, anyway, set goals and make sure they have the SMART acronym. And then make sure that you are taking action towards the goals. What actions do you need to take to make the goal happen? So for me, I have to have an audition book. I won a raffle for this course called the 32 Bar Cut. That course is like $700, but I only had to pay like $150. I paid it because I think it's an investment. The guy who created the course is actually a musician who does Broadway auditions. If not, or he plays in the, I think he plays in the orchestras of shows on Broadway. I believe he plays in Hamilton. Um, but he's been a pianist for years, and he knows the ins and outs of what to do when you go into the room. So I'm going to take that course. I'm going to try to complete it by February 1st. And then I'm also going to begin to put music, sheet music, in my songbook. And I need to also find roles that I could play. Um, so that's the next step. And then I need to go to the performing arts library and get the sheet music. I can get it from Music Notes, but a lot of the times the Music Notes sheet music isn't always the best looking. But there's some songs I could, and then there may be some songs I might not be able to find on there. Particularly like arias. I'm not sure if I could get those. I also think for my sake that I need to find 5 arias that I can sing as well, since I'm also classically trained. And then I need to learn 5 monologues. There are some monologues I know, but I just need to review. But I need to learn 5 monologues because I need to audition for plays as well as musicals. And I'd like to take lessons, and I may have to just invest in that. I just have to figure it out. I mean, that is the plan, is to submit for talent agencies every day, to finish the 32 bar cut course, to put the songs in my songbook, and to do the monologues. That's pretty much the plan. Because if I do those things, I should book work. Or I should at least get representation. I may take an acting class in the summer or the fall at the Barrow Group. I'm actually taking a self-tape course for 3 weeks in February 1st. So that's already signed up for. I'm taking a 3-week course that's going to help me do better self-tapes. So I do think that's also going to help with my booking rate. So that's plan. Taking action, waking up and doing the thing. I think I'm going to try to start. I need to get into a routine because currently I'm not sure what to do with myself. I'm just going to be honest. Or I haven't been because I'm not used to being out of work for this long. But I'm still working in catering, but catering is slow. So I have time to learn music. I have time to work on monologues. I have time to do 32 bar cut course. I have no excuses. And I have time to build a set list to sing in the subway station. Because, baby, this catering is going to be slow in February. And I do need an income. So, I will be singing in a subway station near you. If not, at least Prospect Park. Um, so taking action, making a plan, and taking action. Um, Come up with a cue that's going to get you to do it. For me, I think I'm going to try to start my day walking 5 miles a day. I mean, I've already walked, I usually walk 5 miles a day anyway, but lately I haven't been as much because it's so freaking cold outside. But I have walked in the cold in the past, but for some reason I've been off this January. And it could, oh, I know why. Because I'm fasting for 20 hours a day, which is kind of hard. So it's making me a little more tired and a little more sluggish. Um, and I'm just feeling not as energetic. But I I think some of it is because when I do eat, I need to make sure that I'm cooking. So that's another thing. Taking care of my health was going to be the main focus these first 3 months of the year. So I have been intermittent fasting all year now. And now I just need to improve the quality of what I'm eating. So I'm going to try to start cooking. I bought a recipe book so that I could start cooking. So I've gotten the book. Now when I get the book in the mail, I'm going to start making the recipe. I bought a crock pot, so I'm going to start making recipes for the crock pot so that I have some healthy meals to eat when I do eat. But I will continue to 20-hour fast. Pretty much, this might be a permanent lifestyle choice. I don't know. But it's working. Um, so yeah. Um, with 20-hour fast, I don't know how I just started it. I literally just started it one day. It was the day after Christmas actually. I've cheated here and there, but for the most part, I've stuck to it. Um, I think because I'm just determined to get to my goal weight for finally, because I'm really tired of struggling with my weight in my 30s, and I've pretty much struggled with them the entire time I've been in my 30s. So I'm just really trying to beat the pavement. Um, Another way to take charge of your life is to show up and commit. And I think one of the reasons why I'm feeling like a failure in my life is because I keep quitting my jobs, but I think some of it is because it's not where I'm supposed to be. Like, I really don't think it's where I'm supposed to be. I feel like I'm trying to fit myself into a box that I'm not supposed to be in. And that isn't easy. Um, I always thought I was a really reliable person, but lately, particularly in the last 5 years, I feel like I haven't been. Um, I haven't really been showing up for myself as well as I would like. I haven't been showing up as an employee the way I would like. Um, I'd say at catering, I've shown up pretty consistently. Like, I really have given really good effort. Could I give more? Maybe. I do think maybe catering hasn't gotten as much of my attention because I've been so distracted between education and performing. I mean, I'm basically pursuing three separate careers, and so some career is going to get the neglected. So I think customer service, even though I do show up and I do try my best, I do think sometimes my energy may not be as great by the end of the night because I'm working. I was working at 8 in the morning and then working until midnight. That was a long day. Um, so yeah. Um, Taking, committing, committing. If you say you're going to do something, do it. I think that part of the reason I'm lacking confidence is because I'm not always committing. I'm like half-heartedly doing it. Like I've been half-heartedly doing my acting career. Um, I've been booking work though. I don't know how. I've been booking work, even though I haven't been putting 100% in it for some reason. I don't know. I obviously have talent. That's not even a question. But I think that um, I could have put in more effort I think that once you start quitting, it does seem like it becomes easier to quit. Like once I quit my first teaching job, I feel like, what's another one? What's another one? What's another one? What's another one? Because after a while, I mean, honestly, if I could walk away from a $72,000 salary that I did in 2023, then walking away from this job was easy. Mainly because it was only 20 an hour. But I still feel bad because I'm like, I really like the kids a lot and I like spending time with them. However, I also don't. The stress I felt like was worth more than the amount that I was earning too. But I also just am like, I just feel like that's a job that you really cannot do for the money. Like, it just seems like you have to really have strong ethics and morals in order to do it. And I think that a lot of administrators, I'm not sure what's happening. I really don't. Um, I don't know if it's once you get in that position, you just change. Maybe because you have to. Maybe because you have to conform in order to keep the position. I don't know. Um, but yeah, commitment. I think that's why I'm lacking confidence. Because this week I definitely felt really sad and I felt kind of, I felt bad because I'm like, I didn't get to say goodbye to the students like I wanted to. I still might go see them perform. I mean, I know they do like a performance for at the end of the spring for National Dance Institute, so maybe I'll go to that. I just feel bad because I'm like, I've built relationships with children multiple times and then I've left them. But usually I'll get to write a card or something and say goodbye formally, and this time I didn't. So it's kind of a little devastating. And I felt like this week, because I had so much time on my hands, I feel like I was really processing it, and I was very upset. And I cried multiple times because I felt bad. But I also cried when I was at work because I felt like they weren't being treated the way they should have been. Um, and it wasn't from the teachers. Like I also like in general, I love the teachers I've worked with. I think every teacher I've worked with, I've really enjoyed my time with them. They go above and beyond for those kids, but it's a lot of the stuff with the admin and how they deal with the behavior and things is just not cool. Um, you know, at two of the preschools I was at, they were both more physically aggressive than I think they should have been with the kids since they were preschoolers and they had special needs. I thought that the TAs and the teachers were too aggressive with the kids. But I think that came from a lack of training. And then with this, these kids didn't have special needs, but they're being physical with one another, and then they can get hurt. And I don't know, like I, it just puts you in a weird situation when you have to decide, are you going to take this money and pretend you're not seeing anything, or are you going to say something and risk your job, which is scary, but it's like, I don't know. Anyway, so you want to make a plan, you want to take action, and you want to commit to taking those actions and commit to the plan. So my plan within the next couple weeks is to continue working on my songs and my music because I do miss it. I used to sing all the time, and I feel like currently, unless I'm going to fire ensemble rehearsal, I'm not really singing very much. By the way, I'm performing on Monday with the fire ensemble at the Brooklyn Academy of Music for MLK Day. It's a pretty cool opportunity. That, yeah. Yeah. So, stay committed, take action, make a plan. You can't go anywhere if you don't have a plan. And if you make the plan but you don't take any action, then if you don't commit, And I think that's the area where I have struggled the most. Because I have made plans, plan after plan after plan after plan after plan. And I have taken action towards that plan. I mean, I basically have a master's degree in elementary education, but I'm 5 credits short. But commitment has been very scarce for some reason. I don't know. I do feel like I haven't been forced to stay committed at anything other than when I studied in college, like to get my degree. And even then, I wanted to quit. But for some reason, I stuck it out. Well, probably because I had a support system. And in my adult life, my support system has been there, but kind of inconsistent. So I do feel like my lack of commitment is also causing me to struggle with my self esteem and my confidence because I could honestly say I was a good student. I was a very good employee up until about 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I actually think I did very well at Achievement First, and I stayed the entire school year. But ever since then, it's been mess, 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 mess. Like, I have never gone through this many jobs in such a short period of time before. I just, I don't know. Um, 2024 was very challenging. 2025, I think, will be a change in the works. But I'm reading this book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, and I really think it's a great read. I think you should read it. He was a man who really went through some significant obstacles throughout his life. I haven't finished it yet, but he went through some significant struggles already, and he's only 20 something in the at the point that I'm at right now. Um, but he had a really challenging childhood. And then he decided to join the military, but he couldn't make the pararescue team. He tried and he failed. And then he ended up doing something that he kind of didn't want to do, which was like trapping bugs at Ecolab. And then after that, he had gained a lot of weight. He was like 300 pounds, which was the heaviest he'd ever been. And then he ended up seeing a commercial, I think, for the Navy SEALs. He saw this commercial and then he decided he wanted to do that, even though it seemed impossible because he was at 300 pounds at that point. He hadn't been working out or exercising. He was depressed. And that was the thing because I've been feeling quite depressed this week. I've been trying to like stay positive, but I really am feeling the fact that I don't have a full-time job anymore because I was working. I went from working for the last 3 months nonstop to nothing. This week, I wasn't on the schedule for catering because there's no events this week. And then other than fire ensemble, I didn't have anything. And then I'm not working at the school anymore. And Cambly, I can really only do on Sundays. It's only 10 an hour, so it's just like I'd rather just do it 4 hours on a Sunday. I don't want to do it longer than that. And then I'm supposed to be monetizing my blog, but I sent them the quotes and they said they would get back with me. BetterHelp. Um, but I had a lot of time to think and I've had a lot of time to just marinate everything, and it just is like, oh gosh. I have a little bit of regret. I also have like, dang, maybe I could have handled this better. I have very little experience with conflict resolution that went well. And so I just don't have enough. It's not exactly like you're getting to practice conflict resolution very often, especially when I've also been watching Ginger Duggar. She's been doing her book tour, and I want to read her book because one of the struggles about being a people pleaser is that when you do so many things that everyone wants, and then all of a sudden you do speak up and it's a little brash, and it's a little bit more than you wanted. But because you kept letting it go and you kept letting it go and you kept letting it go, then it just like bubbles over. I haven't had it bubble over to the point where I lost it in years, because I didn't lose it this past year, despite the fact that this year has been struggle McGee. I haven't lost it. I haven't snapped, but I did say, I basically just said to one teacher at East River, I said that I think we're setting her up for failure. And I didn't yell it and I didn't scream it and I didn't say anything crazy, but that set her off, and it just ended up being a domino effect that she ended up talking to the director, who then decides, oh, we're going to push you to resign. I was like, and then this situation, I didn't know how to handle it, because part of it's like, well, just don't say anything. Just don't do anything. And I'm like, I wish I could do that. I think when it comes to children, it's just hard to do that for me. Like, because you know that they don't have autonomy in the same way that the adult in the situation does. So it's really complicated. If you have a boss that's incompetent, or I'm not saying they are incompetent, but I'm saying, let's say you have a boss who's not very good or not very communicative, and this is challenging for you at your job. But have that happen where you are in charge of children as the adult, but then you have an adult who oversees you who is not effective at doing their position that well, and it trickles down this way. And it's like, you can't really go against what they're doing without risking your job. So it just gets complicated. And that was an aspect of education I just did not anticipate. And it's like, you can just not say anything. You can. But I can't. And I never thought that was ever going to be an issue. I always thought that everyone who worked in education always put the best interest of the kids first. That's what I assumed, because my teachers were some of the best, but they were the teachers, and I don't think I knew what maybe their situation with administrators were at that time when I was a student. And this is the aspect of education that I think a lot of people don't realize, because we've all been to school, but we have not all been in the other side of it, where you are the teacher or you are the leadership. And when you are a student, you are seeing a very small fraction of what is going on. And as a teacher, you're seeing it on a wider scale. You're seeing the student's perspective, the parent's perspective, your perspective, and then the admin's perspective. And when they don't align, it's confusing. Like the middle school I worked at, she asked me to be dishonest. I just don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's a New York thing or what, but it's just like, people don't do right by the children. And like, once again, I'm not talking about the teachers. I work with the teachers. I mean, with the preschool kids, that was maybe a little different. But with the elementary school kids I have worked with, I thought I've worked with some amazing educators. But the administrators were, I think, undertrained to do the job. Truthfully. Like, I don't think that administrators are getting enough training to do the job. And then who gets blamed for any mistake that's made? The teacher. The teacher, the teacher, the teacher. And it's just like, the teacher's only doing what they're told to do. Because if they say something against the administrator, then they can lose their job. Hello? That's what just happened to me with the preschool. So I'm just like, anyway, I'm sorry. We went on a tangent. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so taking charge of your life, which is what I'm trying to do now. I can't focus on education so much. But I focus on it mainly because I'm trying to figure out what are areas that I need to improve on. And I think that for me, commitment was the hardest thing, because I still could have met with them. I thought they might bring up firing, which was part of the reason I didn't. And it was just so close to what happened in September that I just was like, I can't deal with this again. But in all of these situations, what I did was not necessarily wrong. It was just not in alignment with what the administrator or director wanted. And like I said, it's easier to go against your boss. I'm sorry, it's easier to just go along with your boss when you are not in charge of children. It's like, because, okay, maybe you're doing something that I don't agree with, but I'll do it because this is my job. Whatever. But like with the kids, it just gets too complicated. It's too convoluted. I don't know how to compartmentalize that. We all need to be on the same page on how to deal with these children, because if they see that we're not on the same page, then we got problems. But yeah, so you need to come up with a plan, take action, and stay committed to your actions and your plan. Stay commitment, because when you stay committed, you will have more self-esteem and confidence. I used to think the self-esteem and confidence came from accomplishment, but no, it really comes from commitment. It comes from committing to what you say you're going to do. And I had said to myself I was going to stay to the end of the school year, and now I haven't. So I think that's also why I'm feeling a way. And I said I was going to finish my master's degree, and I didn't. And so, like, I just feel like I haven't been honoring myself, but then I've also been trying to honor the kids. So it just is very complicated. And I'm also quite hard on myself, I will say that. But I also think sometimes I need to push myself to handle the difficulties a little bit more than I have been. Yeah. So, and also, don't be a people pleaser. That's number 4. Do not be a people pleaser. It's not being completely honest. If you have something to say it. But it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I think that, I ain't gonna lie, like, the calmest situation I had was at the preschool, and I was like, dang, I really didn't say anything in a way that I thought was really unprofessional. But like, I don't know, you don't know what the consequences of what you said are going to be. But don't be disrespectful to people. And I really try, or I've been trying not to be disrespectful in the last couple of years, because I did have a point where I will honestly say I was disrespectful to one of my administrators at one of the schools that I worked at. But I honestly felt like these situations this past year I handled with professionalism, even though she thinks that I didn't. But I really did handle it with professionalism compared to what I would have done 5 years ago or 3 years ago. We have come a long way. Yeah. So for me, staying committed is taking the 32 bar course, working on my songbooks, and singing 15 minutes a day, doing 32 bar cut 15 minutes a day, and then submitting for auditions once a week, and then doing self-tapes, and then also submitting for talent agencies every single day. Because by the end of this year, I want to have an agent. I must have an agent. Because the thing is, I've been my own manager and agent, and it is not completely bad. Like, I booked a national tour. That's not bad for somebody who doesn't have representation. But I definitely need to go to the next level, because I'm 35 at this point, and just like, I really need to move into a new sphere in my singing acting career. I just cannot continue to make this small amount here, small amount there, small amount here, small amount there. It was fine in the beginning, but at this point, I need to be booking things that are more lucrative. But that's pretty much it. Take charge of your life. Commit, take action, and make a plan. And do not be a people pleaser. This has been Southern Girl in the City. I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely week. Bye.